Hey everyone, I'll be narrating this video. I'm a little sick, so we got to the airport like 2 hours early, but guess what? There was no one there. After like 10 minutes, we passed TSA. We were flying with United, and we read that they give free snacks and beverages at their premium United Club. So because I got the United Explorer card, Alex and I got one free pass each to the United Club, so we were banking on using that. So after we got to Chicago, Alex and I wanted some real food, so we decided not to go straight to the club because we didn't want to just eat snacks. So we got some like $20 hot dogs. The hot dogs were actually pretty good, but one hot dog doesn't feed me. So I was thinking we could just get like one cinnamon roll thing. What are these called? Pretzel. Alex came and bought two. He's like, "Oh, I thought you meant one each." So we were so full, we decided to walk it off around the airport. It was pretty cool.
Secret tunnel. We just went into a tunnel from back there. We're in a tunnel. And now we're speed walking. Alex, we are speed. We're speed. Look at that. Are we catching up to that guy?
Which one? That tall guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
So after walking it off, we got to our United Club. We signed in, and there was this luxurious lounge, and they had not only snacks, they had everything you ever wanted. I'm talking sandwiches, omelets, toast, bacon, croissants, sandwiches, I already said that, like Southwestern quinoa rolls, mac and cheese, a bunch of salads. They had like soups. They got like two soups, like broccoli mushroom, chicken noodles, donuts. They got Illy on tap. Illy coffee is really good. This robot like randomly took my dishes, and I was like, okay, I'll take that. We were so full. We were just sitting around trying to get over the breakfast we just shoved in after we already ate. And then we hear some commotion around the little buffet table. We turn around, look, and guess what? They had lunch on the table. And we're like, ah, man, we gotta make the most of this. So after our like 2-course meal, we sat around for about 2 hours because we had a total of like a 4 or 5 hour layover. But anyways, it was great, and we boarded our plane on time.
Alex,
Hey.
you ready?
Yeah.
Where are we going? I forgot.
And
Alex, what did you just find?
you see this window? I can like turn it down.
They got tinted, self-tinting windows.
I don't know what this is. It's too fancy. It keeps getting darker.
That's actually crazy. Look how dark it
It's
is.
wild.
Compare it to like a window like that. What? We're gonna leave. We're gonna have a meal. Lights out. A little snack.
Yeah.
Lights on. A meal.
And then we arrive.
And then we'll arrive.
So on our flight, the most memorable meal that I got was this buttered chicken. It was so good. The flight was about 12 or 13 hours. Then we got delayed. These cookies were bomb. And for some reason, our flight attendant really liked us. So he just hooked us up with a bunch of leftover cookies. They're like birthday cake cookies. The flight there was pretty rough. We just didn't sleep that well. I think that added to our total issues when we got there.
So, me and Yuri, we thought that outside is clouds. We thought it was clouds. Turns out it was snow.
It's snow.
So right off the bat, one thing you find out about Japan is that you stand in a lot of lines. So right when we landed, we were walking through the terminal. There was a lot of workers, like I don't know, like every 10 feet, they were just waving us down, telling us to keep moving, making sure that we got our mobile pre-check stuff figured out, like our tests and all that stuff. Then we ended up standing for about another hour to get checked into the country. Then we got our luggage and waited another hour to get through the terminal with our luggage. I don't know, it was some like a luggage check area. So ultimately, like after 3 hours, we finally got to the exit part of the airport. After being told and pointed which direction and what to do, it was kind of weird just walking out and then being like, okay, now what? I knew that we needed to get some cash converted to yen, and I knew that we needed to claim our JR pass so we can ride the bullet trains for free. However, this lady walked up and then just shows us a piece of paper, and on this paper, it shows where we can come back the next day. So she's like, no time, no time today. And we're like, okay. So we see this huge line, and what she was basically telling us was that before we get to the window, the ticketing office would close. So after being told this news, we were kind of lost at what to do. As a side note, you can get this Suica Pass, which is basically a prepaid debit card that you can charge up, and you get it from one of these machines. And what it lets you do is get on trains for a slightly discounted rate, and you don't even have to go through the whole ticketing process. You just walk up to one of these gates and scan in, and you can pay for stuff at some stores or vending machines. Because now that we don't have this pass, we can't just walk through the ticketing booth and get on a train. We needed to buy a ticket, and we didn't even know how to do that. So anyways, I'm like, let's get our money converted. We get to a conversion booth, and they were charging $1 for 120 yen, which I didn't even know if that was good or bad. Anyways, we got it. Later on in the trip, I found out that at the time, 132 yen was about the price. So, I mean, we got ripped off a little bit, but I mean, that's how they operate. The reason I found that out because with my travel card, they actually match the price of the current transaction rate, and they don't even charge you a transaction fee. So most of my trip I was actually paying with my travel card, and that saved a lot of money too, because you save about 10% per transaction like that. Anyways, we got our money, and right next to the currency booth was a tourist booth. I walked up, asked the guy how to book a ticket, and instead of him telling us how to book a ticket, he just did it for us and like just gave us tickets, and we were like, okay, cool. I mean, now we gotta have our tickets, but I don't know how to get more or whatever. And the funny thing is, the two tickets were like 300 yen, so like $3. And later, like 3 days in, after I got a nice grasp of the economy and the way the currency worked, I realized I paid the dude with a $100 bill, 10,000 yen for a $3 ticket. I just laughed at it a little bit because I paid with a huge bill for such a tiny amount.
Hi, Yuri. So we got our tickets, train tickets.
We're kind of overwhelmed.
So we get on the train, and we don't even know if it's the right train. Oh, I forgot to mention. As soon as we start leaving the airport to get to the train station, we don't have internet. Because I didn't know about the whole you could buy a SIM card with limited data on it. I didn't know how that works. I should have got it, but we were in the moment and I was so tired and we never got around to it after that. So I recommend doing that. When you're at the airport, get you one of those SIM cards with some data on it because it's super worth. As soon as you walk out of the airport, there was no internet service. So what we were doing was looking up directions. Using those saved directions, we would navigate. So we looked up how to get to our apartment, and we got on the first train we saw because we didn't know how to read the train lines or anything. We're riding this train, and it says, ride the train for 3 stops. So that's what we do. By the time I read through the directions, we already stopped twice. So the third stop comes, and the directions say ride for 3 stops. So the way I was reading it, in this example, it says ride 3 stops. So we got to the third stop, and I got off. But what it means is you ride 3 stops plus 1 more to get to whatever's the name station. So Nijo Station in this case. Us being tired, me misreading, and kind of being pressed on time because we already pulled up at the third stop. The doors open and they were about to close. We didn't want to miss our train station, so we just got off. Well, the doors close and the train leaves, and we're at this tiny train station. And these tiny train stations don't have internet. So now we're like, hold up. We're reading the map. We're trying to figure it out. Some of the small train stations don't even have any English on them. And with no internet available, we couldn't use our Google Translate lens. So we kind of were just trying to figure stuff out. There was nobody there. There was probably like 2, 3 other Japanese people, but there was no workers there or anything. We were so confused on what to do. It was the coldest night for whatever reason. I was tired. I'm looking at the map and I'm like, how do we know how to get back on our train on the right tracks? So we're just sitting there and there's trains passing us and we're letting them pass and they're leaving and leaving. After like a good solid 20 minutes, Alex was like, alright, this is ridiculous. Let's just get on a random train and see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we hop on a random train and we ride it to the stop that we needed to go. We get off at that stop because I wanted to get more information and get Wi-Fi to update where we are. So we lug our luggage down the stairs because there was no escalator. And we talked to this older gentleman who doesn't know English at all. And he translates to us that to get tickets, we got to go back upstairs. So we're like, all right, thanks. We find an elevator. We look at the buttons, and all the buttons are just in Japanese kanji. We have no clue what they say. And we're like, okay. The door closes and nothing happens. And we're like, which one do we press? The door opens again and a Japanese guy jumps on real quick and presses the button and we go up to where we needed to go. And I was like, sweet. Okay, so that kanji means up. Alright, cool. We get off and there's no ticketing stuff that the old guy mentioned. So we're looking around and I see one of the security guys helping out a lady. Like she walked up and asked him a question and walked away. And I was like, maybe I can ask him. So we walk up to him and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get to Akasaka. And he was like, Straito, and points at this train that's been sitting there for a little bit. So I know those doors are gonna be closing soon. And I'm like, but I don't have a ticket. He's like, Straito. So I'm like, alright, this guy's letting us pass. Alex, we gotta make it. So we book it to the door, barely make it, and the doors just close right behind us. And we're like, sweet. And I'm like, we're making progress. Nice. We got off at the right stop this time because I figured out how to read the Google map. And now we gotta switch train stations, which we've never done. We've been going in a straight line pretty much. I walk up to the exit part, and what you gotta do is you gotta feed it your ticket. But I didn't know that our ticket would be appropriate. We didn't even need to buy a whole nother ticket. In reality, if you ride too far on accident, when you go to an exit station, it won't let you put the ticket in. It'll tell you that you need to charge up the ticket. So you just go to a little ticket machine and just pay a little bit extra, like a readjustment fee, and then you're free to go. But I didn't know this, so we went to like one of the manned ticket booths, and I talked to the officer, and I'm like, hey, how do we get to Akasaka? I need to get on the Ginza line. And he's like, where's your ticket? And I'm like, we don't have one. I don't know why I said that. We had a ticket, but I didn't think we had the appropriate one. And he's like, huh? You don't have a ticket? So he's like, okay, let's go. I guess we went to talk to the superior officer, and he was this really chill guy. And the other guy that and we first talked to was really stressing out and was like, "Oh, they don't have a ticket. I don't even know how they got here." And he's like, "Ah, it's fine, it's fine. Where are you guys trying to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're trying to get to the Ginza line." And he's like, "Okay, it's not here. You gotta go through this mall and make a few turns and you will get there." And I'm like, "All right, thanks. I appreciate it." We ended up getting to the Ginza line, rode that train like a boss. Like we understood finally the whole system.
Hey, Yuri and I just spent like 3 hours train hopping. It's so complicated. But we're solving it now.
I'm actually like, I feel a lot better now. Because we're literally like 400 meters from our hotel, so.
Also, we have no internet, so that's really hard.
We got off at the right station, and now we have to figure out how to get above ground. Because we went upstairs like 3 times, and we still weren't above ground. And then we just like kept walking through glass doors and like random business offices and stuff, and we finally made it out. And we saw this great view. We were already in Japan for 5 hours probably. So it was refreshing to finally get to see the city that you came here for, you know?
We finally made it above ground. In the city.
Wow.
Yep. Now all we gotta do is get to our hotel. Alex is tired.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe I'm like tired from the flight. That my back kind of hurts from sitting all the time. Or somewhere I think I may have trying to get on the train or off the train. Because I was like yanking that thing, you know? Yep, so now we're walking. Just gonna get to the hotel. Yep.
Our hotel for the first night was called Henna Hotel, which means weird hotel. It was, out of all our hotels, probably the best one. It was very clean, very new, had these robots that, you know, gave you instructions and bowed to thank you and stuff.
Okay.
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 I will now register the guest information.
Right.
Please press the button to begin.
Oh, it's
Is
back.
it signature?
Yeah.
My
There's
signature.
a pen right here.
Where do I write?
Just your name. It's a woman too.
Okay.
We also went to a local store and got some steam buns. They were really good.
It was a struggle, but we made it. Let's go. Look, we're on the highest floor. It's so cool.
And yeah, this is our hotel. I appreciate you guys watching. This video took a lot of effort, and I'd appreciate it if you would leave a comment and leave a like. It will help the channel. Thanks.